Hi folks, this is James from Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends, and this time we're looking at the legend of Mhorag. In the murky depths of Loch Morar, a creature known as Morag supposedly finds her abode. Loch Morar graces the landscape near the small but busy port of Mhorag, nestled within the Loch Morar region of the northwestern highlands. A freshwater expanse of considerable proportions, Loch Morar claims the title of Scotland's 5th largest loch by surface area, covering just over 10 square miles. But it is the loch's depths that add to its mystery, plunging to a staggering 1,017 feet at its deepest point, thereby securing its status as the deepest freshwater body in all the British Isles. Tales of Mhorag's presence have long populated the conversation of locals, carving out a niche within the pantheon of Scottish folklore alongside her better known counterpart, the Loch Ness monster. The name Mhorag is from Scotland's Gaelic language. It's a girl's name and means great or eminent. The name has several other possible origins or meanings, but this is generally accepted as the main one. The name is, of course, also a playful nod to the loch from which she purportedly emerges. Reaching far into Scotland's misty past, tales of Mhorag weave a tapestry that reflects the locals' changing beliefs. From tales at least as far back as the 1800s to more recent encounters, the legend of Mhorag continues to capture the imagination of those who fall under the loch's spell. Local folklore and beliefs about Mhorag have evolved over the centuries. In 1902, the folklorist Alexander Carmichael visited the Loch Morar region to collect stories about Mhorag from the residents. Carmichael's weighty scripts, which are held at the University of Edinburgh, are significant because they provide documentary evidence of local beliefs and stories about Mhorag from the 1800s and early 1900s. Carmichael reported in his writings that at some point the Mhorag was seen as a beautiful mermaid, an enchantress with flowing hair, her siren song drifting across the misty surface of the loch. Sailors considered sighting a mermaid an omen of death by drowning. Thus, Mhorag sightings were considered a harbinger of death. Carmichael learned that the last reported sighting of Mhorag in this form was in 1898, when Innes MacDonald, a local luminary, died. Mhorag could appear at any time of day or night. Residents, including local church officials, reported sighting her in the daytime. However, there were some conflicting accounts about Mhorag's appearance. Some witnesses described her as assuming the form of an ominous black heap that rises to the water surface and floats along like a dark waterlogged boat. People feared her manifestation and described her in somewhat unflattering terms. Other accounts were more consistent with Mhorag's identification as a mermaid. Below the waist, she bore the unmistakable traits of a denizen of the deep, her lower extremities echoing that of a fish. Yet above the waterline, her countenance assumed a more familiar guise, resembling that of an adult woman, complete with cascading tresses of blonde hair. Descriptions spoke of her porcelain skin and ample curves. The mermaid was shy and never appeared except on solemn occasions when a community leader died or a member of one of the local clans fell in battle. When a death occurred in the community, she would materialise, her mournful cries piercing the tranquillity of the water, a haunting lamentation that served as a reminder of her presence. This is very similar to the role played by the banshee in Irish folklore, where the female spirits are said to keen or wail when a relative has died or is about to pass away. Carmichael's account also suggested that Mhorag used to be at the centre of organised rites that celebrated her as some sort of water deity. As the decades passed, Mhorag's visage evolved, possibly due to the influence of tales emanating from the nearby Loch Ness. More recent descriptions of Mhorag and stories locals now promote describe her as being more closely related to Nessie. Cryptozoologists have long speculated about Mhorag's enigmatic identity. Some theorists posit the notion that she could be a kelpie or waterhorse, the Iach Uisce, a shape-shifting water spirit in Scottish folklore. Another popular conjecture suggests Mhorag is a relic of the ancient past, a prehistoric dinosaur such as a plesiosaur that scientists believe to be extinct. Other fanciful suggestions include a giant eel, an infernal demonic entity, a colossal catfish, or a large sea creature trapped in the loch. There have been a myriad of reported sightings of Mhorag. Several of the sightings involve many witnesses at once. The first reported sighting of Mhorag occurred in 1887. A later sighting, reported in 1948, involved 9 souls travelling on the loch in a boat near the spot of the earlier sighting. According to witnesses, they saw a serpent-like creature about 20 foot long. Another sighting in 1969 involved 2 men, Duncan MacDonald and William Simpson. While crossing the loch aboard their modest vessel, they encountered and accidentally collided with the monster. It attacked the boat, and MacDonald brandished an oar in a valiant attempt to fend off the creature. Simpson had a rifle or shotgun. He opened fire and the beast ceased its attack, vanishing beneath the surface, leaving nothing but the wind on the water. In 1975, 2 brothers, Charles and Donald Simpson, reported that while on a birdwatching expedition, they sighted Mhorag in the Morar River that winds from the loch to the sea. Donald claimed it was a formidable 20-foot monster. In 1977, Miss M. Lindsay presented 2 photographs that she claimed showed Mhorag. She snapped the 2 photos in quick succession, each a fleeting glimpse allegedly showing the monster moving from one point to another on the loch. In July 2013, Scott Justice, a resident of East Kilbride, claimed to have snapped photos of Mhorag. The alleged sightings occurred in the afternoon while he was picnicking with his wife outside the charming Swordslands Lodge, which is within sight of Loch Morar. Justice's wife was the first to notice something strange stirring beneath the surface close to the shore before it disappeared. In August 2013, British tabloid newspapers reported that a couple, Doug and Charlotte Christie, claimed to have sighted a dark shape in the loch, its form stretching some 20 feet in length. The shape appeared on 3 separate occasions over 2 days, one sighting lasting more than 10 minutes. Charlotte said she thought at first it was a whale, but later realised it was none other than Mhorag. Another recent sighting involved Alistair McKellig of Mhorag. He claimed that he and his companion were fishing in a boat when Mhorag emerged about 50 yards away. They saw 3 distinctive humps on its back, but Mhorag's head remained veiled beneath the surface. Based on the reported sightings, many believe Loch Morar plays host to a creature akin to the famed Nessie of Loch Ness. Yet despite the many stories and witnesses, there is no definitive evidence. Several cryptozoology organisations, amongst them the venerable Loch Ness Investigation Bureau, have turned their gaze towards the depths of Loch Morar. Yet despite their diligent efforts, the waters have yielded no tangible proof of a monstrous inhabitant. Biologists, ever the pragmatic voices, cast a sceptical eye upon the claims. Their assessment: the loch's ecosystem lacks the requisite biomass to sustain a creature of the alleged monster's magnitude. Thus, the notion of Mhorag's existence is deemed improbable, a whimsical notion that finds itself at odds with the ecological realities of Loch Morar's depths. Have you seen Mhorag? Have we missed something important? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please do subscribe, as it helps us fund the channel. This has been James, from Fairy Tales, Myths and Legends. We hope to see you again soon.